Hey folks, Rich here at FMS Models. Today I have the flagship of the FMS fleet. This is the version 8 1400mm P-51 Mustang Red Tail Edition. Now the version 8, folks, is not too dissimilar from the version 7 of the airplane, although there are some really significant and really nice improvements to the model. First off, just to give you an overview of the airplane, it's all EPO, folks. It assembles really with just some screws, folks. The only gluing you do with the contact cement they provide is really gluing on exhaust stacks and gluing on guns and so forth. The rest of the airplane, it really just sort of bolts together, folks, and all you do is you put your horns and your rods on, this thing's ready to go. Now, the overall overview here, the power plant starts off at the front with a 4250 540 kV brushless outrunner that drives this really nice four-bladed scale propeller. There's a 70 amp speed controller with a 5 amp BEC that drives all 9 servos that are already installed in the airplane. Now the airplane runs on 4 cells, and I'm using a 3600. You can use 2600 up to 3600. The 3600 pack I'm using in here gives you quite a bit of flight time, 5 to 7 minutes or more, depending on how you're flying it. But the beauty is I've asked Junior to zoom in on this. This battery tray is the newest design of this version 8. It allows you to Velcro and strap your battery to the tray, and now the tray just very nicely just slides up into the nose of the airplane and it locks in position. And you get that perfect battery position every single time now when you go and fly this thing. Now, a couple of the other features on this airplane: it has a very nice detailed pilot. There's actually a Tuskegee Airman in there, and they put some beautiful detail inside for the cockpit and so forth. And this locks into position forward. Now, to give you a quick overview on the inside of the airplane, I'll take the cockpit off. It's a tongue and groove in the front, and it's magnetic here in the back. And as I flip this up, Junior's going to zoom in here so I can show you what this thing looks like. On the inside, this is one of the nicest features, folks. It has single point wing connectors for putting this thing together. So no longer do you have a flap, an aileron, a landing gear, and a light servo all to plug in. There's a single point, again, I'll show it to you, a single point balance plug connector. So there's a single balance point coming off each wing to attach your wings. So 4 screws attach this airplane, the wings together, and the single point connectors put them together, and the plane is ready to fly. Otherwise, you can see inside here, the servos are pre-mounted here. I went ahead and Velcroed right in there my landing gear door sequencer, and it's a very clean setup in here, folks. The battery, again, is all the way up here, and it's already installed in here. Now, putting your canopy back on, just a tongue and groove with a magnet, and it catches on there nicely. Now, I'm going to flip the airplane to the underside and show you one of the next improvements on the model, and that is the landing gear on this thing. Just tremendous suspension on these wheels, folks. And all the doors, main and tail, all open and closed. So I'm going to go ahead and retract the gear for you. You can see the main doors open. All right. And you can see all the doors close, everything closes flushly, and it's just a fantastic set of gear. Even the tail wheel doors open and close as well. Now, one of the newest features is as you extend the landing gear, the main doors open, and then after a few seconds they'll close. In the version 7, they were snagging on the runway, but now they won't anymore because, as you can see, they close. The gear is also improved in the trunnions. There's now a fork mechanism that moves up and down with the slider on the jack screw. So now the gear can no longer slip off the slider. It's nice and tough now. Also, removable drop tanks as well. So FMS has done a really great job at making these things come on and off with ease. Lastly, one of the things I want to show you is the flap mechanism. The flaps are pre-programmed with a slowdown mechanism in there already. So you can set several settings of flaps in. The flaps operate nice and slowly, as you can see here. It's always best when you set these things up, guys, to use some sort of a 3-position switch. So you have a flap 0, and then you put your switch down, you get a takeoff setting, you flip it down again, and you get a landing setting, and that's really kind of the best way to set it up. Overall, folks, plane comes just the way you see it. It goes together real nice. It's a fantastic flyer. I've got this thing plugged in and it's ready to go out to the flying field. I'll just check my flight controls. We'll get it out to the runway and give you a flight demo of the 1400 millimeter P-51 Mustang Red Tail from FMS. All right, guys, as I taxi the Mustang out, I'll go ahead and extend one setting of flaps for takeoff. The wheels on this airplane are big. It handles the grass nicely. This thing is stable on the grass and in the air. I'll go ahead and turn it around, get it lined up on the center line here. And I only need about half throttle for takeoff, so I'll advance it slightly, a little bit of right rudder, and then it lifts right off. I'm adding full throttle now, gear and flaps are coming up. And I usually power back a little bit to give the center doors time to close. And it looks like they're closing up now. And I'll bring it by for a nice slow pass for everybody. You can see how nicely it flies, nice and smooth. Mustangs are super aerobatic because they're fighter planes, so you can really roll this thing around. Now I'm going to go ahead and put full flaps in and show you what a full flap flyby looks like. You can really get this thing slow. All the FMS models fly so well. The EPO foam planes have just such a light wing loading. They'll just fly nice and slow without bad habits. All right, I'll go ahead and put the flaps up, give it full throttle here. All right, I'll bring it around here and I'll give you guys a loop. The Mustang just loops fantastic. Just pitch it up gradually, bring it right around, nice and round, outstanding. The EPO foam that they're made of is tough, and the wing loadings are so light so they fly well. Now I'm going to bring it up to full throttle here, give you guys a full speed pass. Nice and stable, everybody. Do a Cubanate at the end. Roll it around. Simply nice. Now again, I have a bit of a crosswind here, so it's blowing me towards the outside of the field, but this plane does handle it quite nicely. This is definitely not the EPO planes of the past. They are just super nice flyers, folks. All right, I'll bring it onto the downwind. Series of rolls. Very aerobatic. You can see that roll rate, it's just tremendous. All right, I'll bring it back to the center line here. Give you another fast pass down the runway. All right, outstanding. Can't get enough of it, folks. Point rolls. Very crisp performance, folks. Now I'll line it up here on final and roll the airplane upside down. Mustangs don't usually do this, but it's nice to sort of demonstrate it. Real stable upside down. You can balance this thing right at the factory CG, and it will fly like this every time. Right back to the center here. Just an outstanding performing plane. Absolutely love it. All right, now I'm going to bring it in front of the camera again, nice and slow, so Pete can hopefully track this thing, give you guys a close look at this thing. It's just real impressive. A little bit too low there, but that's okay. That's the beauty about these planes. If you were to touch there, which I've done before, you end up breaking propellers and the plane slides in and you're fine. Let me go ahead and extend the landing gear and give you guys a touch and go. Wheels are coming down. This thing just handles the grass beautifully. A little bit of a crosswind there. Clean touch and go, nice. Right back up in the air. Inverted with the gear, guys. This plane will do it. Now go ahead and put full flaps in and show you a full flap landing here. Again, a little bit of a crosswind here, using my crab technique here. A little bit of floating going on. But you can see you can get it down there nicely. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take off out of this again. Gears coming up, flaps are coming up. Now I've only burned about 1,600 milliamps on the 3600 pack that's in this, folks, so you get a heck of a lot of flight time out of this. Now I'm going to go into some steep turns here into the middle. This plane just performs so nice, guys. This is the flagship of FMS, everybody. Version 8 Mustang. Just an awesome performer, everybody. Handles the wind nicely today. All right, I'll bring it by the other way. Again, lots of battery on this thing. Get a good flight time out of it. Outstanding. Now go ahead and get the gear down, and we will bring it on in, guys. Gear's coming down, full flaps are coming in. And we'll bring the Mustang on in. Again, no bad habits. This plane has a tendency, or doesn't have a tendency, I should say, to nose over. It's just super stable in the air and super stable on the ground. Okay, folks, that concludes this video on the FMS 1400mm version 8 P-51 Mustang Red Tail Edition. As you saw from the flight demo, it's just a spectacular flying airplane. It does everything well. Takeoff and landings are a breeze with this thing. It's fully aerobatic. It's just a phenomenal flyer. The entire package, folks, comes just the way you see it, all painted with this beautiful scale paint job. It builds with really just a few screws, folks, and just flies fantastic. I'm overall really impressed with this thing, especially with the new features, the slide-in battery tray, the main doors that close, the single-point wing connectors, the improved metal trunnions, all make for just a spectacular airplane. Anyway, guys, thanks for checking out this video. Thanks for checking out FMS models, and as always, we'll see you next time.